House of PMO, the new professional body for PMO professionals, to enable PMO professionals to develop themselves, help develop others, and contribute to the development of the PMO profession. The recently published PMO Competency Framework provides information on all the various components of each of the PMO competences, those competences we need to perform PMO roles competently or well. To perform competently in a PMO role, you will need a combination of knowledge, skills, and behaviours. The competency framework identifies 16 knowledge areas. For example, corporate processes and procedures and their associated timings that are relevant to delivery. For example, administration, finance, procurement, and the quality management system. A particular knowledge area relevant for those roles within a portfolio office would be the corporate vision, strategic aims and strategy, and the industry and market within which the organisation operates. Also, professional standards and corporate norms, including the appropriate delivery and legal frameworks. For example, how do we use Prince 2 in our organisation? We also need to know the organisation's governance structure and who's who, along with customer and supplier organisations as appropriate, and relationships between the parties. There are 51 skills that a PMO professional might draw upon. The 51 skills are split across 8 categories: self, relationships, thinking, communications, analytical, problem solving, strategic, and collaboration. The final component of competence is behaviour. All of the 16 behaviours are relevant to all of the competences and roles. Increasing proficiency would require increasing demonstration and consistency in all the behaviours. An example of a behaviour is to probe and challenge confidently in a professional manner. Competences vary depending on the context in which an individual is working, and there are 4 possible contexts. Firstly, within a temporary project context, where an individual is providing services to a project. Similarly, the temporary programme context, where an individual is providing services to a programme. We also have the permanent portfolio context, where an individual is providing services to support the definition and delivery of a portfolio. And the final context is that of the Centre of Excellence, that provides standards for processes, templates and tools, etc. Many roles require individuals to be involved in working across all 4 contexts at once. There are 24 competencies in total, split across 4 competence domains: P3M administration, P3M delivery support, PMO management, and P3M enabling. It is not only PMO competences that the PMO professional will need. Competence is also required in 6 further related competence areas: project management, programme management, portfolio management, leadership and management, business analysis, and change management. There are 4 cumulative proficiency levels: foundation, intermediate, advanced, and expert. Increasing proficiency is based on increasing proactivity, complexity, time frame, influence, and autonomy. Within each context, for each level of proficiency, there are a number of indicators which describe what a competent PMO professional can do consistently and well. Let's look at the change control competence within a project context. Somebody competent at foundation level could maintain project records and keeps logs up to date, for example the change log. At intermediate level, a person could be deemed competent if they could induct new project team members on change control processes. They could be competent at an advanced level if they could highlight learnings from the project and recommend enhancements. For this particular competence in the project context, it's not expected that expert competence would be required. Let's look at another example, this time the information management competence within the programme context. Somebody competent at foundation level could act as the point of contact for program templates in relation to information management. Competence at intermediate level is demonstrated by somebody who could escalate conflicts between constituent project needs, for example where there is disagreement over data ownership. Competence at advanced level is indicated by somebody if they analyse and evaluate project and programme data to identify discrepancies, trends, exceptions and opportunities, such as repeated data breaches. And finally, competence at expert level is indicated if a person guides programme management on decision making and applies scrutiny and challenge where required, for example challenging the absence of a programme data strategy. There are a number of elements associated with each competence. Firstly, a definition of the competence, followed by a description which provides further information on the scope of the competence, i.e. what's included in that competence. The key terms provides a selection of activities, artefacts and techniques that are relevant to the competence and include terms from a variety of industries and methodologies. Remember, they may not all be relevant to your organisation. The next section provides a few examples of PMO services that require this competence. For example, if the PMO wanted to provide secretariat support for governance meetings, maintain the project diary, or maintain the project or programme organisation structure, they would need to have somebody who was competent in PMO administration. Within each competence, the key knowledge areas from the 16 mentioned earlier are identified along with the key skills relevant to this competence. Because all the behaviours are relevant, they are not listed under each competence. The final section contains all the indicators for each level of proficiency within each context. The competences are building blocks for defining what is required for each role. The competency framework provides 4 sample role profiles: PMO Administrator, PMO Analyst, PMO Manager and PMO Director. These role profiles can be used by individuals to assess their competence for their current role or even a role they are looking to move into in the future. An individual would select the most relevant role profile, reflect on their career to date and their different experiences, assess their level of competence using the indicators provided, and note specific evidence to support that assessment. Why don't you do your self-assessment today? You can purchase a book or PDF version of the Competence Framework from Amazon or the stationery office. For further details, log on to www.houseofpmo.com.